Hi everyone, it's Karen Jean from Ex Libris Crafts, and today we're going to be making this little Christmas card. This measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it is the perfect size for a gift card. And it's a very simple and easy card to make, so I'm going to take you through it now. The things we're going to need, or the things that I use, I'll leave that here to show you, is Simon Hurley Slippery When Wet ink. And then I have black ink for the church, which is just a VersaFine Onyx black ink. That's the one I use. And then you can't see it so much on camera, I don't think, but the Joy to the World is very much the same color as the blue paper that I'm using. And for that, I'm using Distress Oxide Chipped Sapphire. Oh, sorry, I'm not even in frame there. Chipped Sapphire. So those are the inks. It's very simple. The stencil that we're going to use, we're first going to do that background burst, is this here, Creative Expressions Mini Stencils Fractured Crystal. And that's why the card is so small, because this stencil is small. I got this at scrapbook.com for under $2. The first thing I'm going to do is I just have a piece of 80-pound cardstock here, and it's on a piece of paper. I'm not doing this at my actual workstation because I'm in the middle of making a journal over there and the table's a mess. And I've had an order for these cards, so I needed to make some more. So I figured I would show you how it's done. Let me just do it this way. I'm just taping down the piece of paper because it has been my experience that this stencil likes to move around. I'm just trying to see if I can get it on the edge, although I'm probably not going to be able to salvage that piece. Oh, might as well just do it this way. Trying to be fancy, but it's not working. Let's just put it there. And I'm doing this on my craft table, so yes, it is jostling, and I do apologize for that. So this might not be necessarily a very good video to watch, because we're gonna start to get some real jostling going on as I do this. I'm just gonna load up. I use the scrapbook.com foam blenders. Okay, and I start in the center and I work my way out. Sorry for the jostling. Let's peel that away. And there we have it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off camera and I'm going to cut along the edge there, and I'll be back. Okay, oops, sorry. What I'm going to do here is I'm using my Misty in case I need to stamp it a couple of times. It's already set up because it's from when I was doing this the other day. So I'm just placing this in the corner there, putting these down, using my VersaFine, just pressing it in a couple of times. Sorry for the shakiness. You rub it down with a cloth and see right there, which is why I have it in the Misty, because if you can see, it missed the part of the church over there. So just tap it again. See how we get this time. There, much better. Okay, I'm going to take it out of the Misty. Move that aside. My Joy to the World I have on a block here. Let me get that. There we go. So I am going to stamp it. Stamp it down. See how it looks? Okay. Dab it. Bring this guy over here and get it right above the church. Pressure down, pull up, there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm using Wow Superfine Clear Embossing Powder to give dimension. Just dipping it in. And now I'm going to take it over to my heat gun. And I'll be right back. You see the difference. What we've done by using the heat gun is we've also dried that ink. Now I've already cut down the card base, which is 110-pound Nino white cardstock. And I've also cut down a piece of 65-pound cardstock I got at Michael's from Recollections brand. And what I'm going to do is, this guy's just going to get centered on there. There are different ways to do this. I am going to use, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use my gun, my tape runner. Now, another way to do it is the way Natasha Foote does it by using, oops, I forgot to scrape off that. There's some embossing powder on that paper. Natasha Foote uses double-sided tape on a roll, and then she folds up bits of it, makes little flags for placing it. See this, which might have been easier, because sometimes I go off the card or off the page. Then I just use my finger to fold that under, right? And if I had used, the problem is I'm standing up. If I was sitting down, I would be able to see what I'm doing better. Okay. Let's just fold that in half. Oops. This guy on the bottom's still poking out. Okay. Yeah. That looks a little crooked, but that's a homemade card. And then we're just going to adhere it down to the card base. And again, I'm going to use my, well, what I'll do is I was going to use my tape runner, but I will use the roll of tape like Natasha does and show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to place that down. I need to get scissors though. I don't have scissors. Hang on just a second. So lay that down. Now peel up a corner. Lay another piece down. And this way you are assured to get all the way to the edge of your piece. Right. Peel up a corner there. Should probably use a pointy tool to do this. There we go. Peel it up there. Now to lay down the last piece. There. Now to lay down the last piece. What I do is I make sure that they overlap, so I peel up that side too. Cut that back. This side's got to come up to flag it. And there we have our 4 flags, right? And for that, we're just going to place right on top of that and peel off our release papers. And there's the card. Now, I also make my own envelopes. So what I'm going to show you next is how I make my own envelopes. So this card now measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So, I don't need that. I go to my envelope punch board here, right? And I look for the card size, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. They don't have, but they have 3 by 4. So I need a 6 by 6 piece of paper. So again, the Recollections. This one might be a little bit too bright. This is the one I'm going to use though. Recollections. Sorry, moving all this stuff out of the way. And what did I say? 6 by 6 for 3 by 4? 3 by 4. 6 by 6. I'll be back. I'm back, and I did change the color of the paper. More golden. All right, so let's go back here. We have, what did we say? 3 by 4, 6 by 6 paper, and that says, can you see that? Sorry. 2 5/8. So we are going to start on our 2 5/8 mark up here, which is right there. I don't know if any of you have ever used this envelope punch board before, but they're wonderful. So 2 5/8. So the only time we're going to use this ruler measurement is our very first time. So we line it up with the 2 5/8. Make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Scooch it over just a bit. We're going to punch, and we're going to score. This comes with it. You just put that all the way in there. There's a mark right there. And then you turn it a quarter turn. You line up that pointy thing with the score that you just did. You're going to punch. And again, you're going to score. And you're just going to go around and do that. Punch and score. And punch and score. And there you go. And it looks like that. Now what you can also do is, we can flip it a little bit here to the side. You put in your corners there, and it rounds them. I'm probably going to wind up cutting the bottom flap anyway, but there. And that is how you use an envelope punch board. So here we have it, right? Our card is going to fit in there beautifully. So where you make the score mark, the top of the paper where the divot is, not the underside where it's de-embossed, but the top where it's embossed. That's where you're going to, let me get that folder. You're going to fold it into itself, right? You're going to flip that one up. These are the side flaps. Flip that one in, right? Bottom flap or top flap, it doesn't matter much at this point. Just get everything all nice and folded and sharp creases. Okay? And then we look at it. Do we want that one? Do we want that one? It doesn't really matter. But when we open it, you see how this comes like that. I don't like that, so I just take my scissors and I snip that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this back up. Sometimes, quite honestly, I leave it folded usually. I'm taking my tape runner and going along the edges of the flaps, right? Once again, I'm standing up and not seeing where my tape runner is going. So, there. Okay, makes it easier to understand that way. And then I'm doing the same, so that's to the edge of the smaller flaps, and then I do the same to the bottom flap that's going to come up, so that it gives a nice secure hold. And again, I'm real sloppy with the tape runner. And then I just press that down. And there's that. Now, I go back to this tape. Let me get my skinnier one. This one's too thick. here. I'll use my scrapbook.com one. The other one wasn't open. And for this, because this is how the person, the sender, is going to seal this envelope, is by peeling back these bits of tape to seal their envelope. Okay, and so we just place it there. Cut. It's just like when you buy envelopes in the store and they have that paper there. Now, as a finishing touch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the North Star from this stamp set, use my chipped sapphire, Distress Oxide chipped sapphire, scoop it up some, right? Hopefully I'm not going to make too much of a mess. Just put it in that upper left corner where your return address would go. And then again, I'm going to emboss it with the embossing powder. I'll be right back. There is our finished product. See the envelope with the embossed North Star, right? In the same blue that the paper is in. The card is going to slip very nicely in here. Voila. Easy peasy. So, if you want links to anything, please let me know, and I'll see if I can hunt around for them and throw them in the description box. We are only limited by our own imaginations. Let yours run wild. Thanks for stopping by.